Unrivaled has created quite the buzz leading up to their tip-off games this Friday. But can the league live up to the hype, and what does this mean for the WNBA?
Is the WNBA facing a significant challenge? Unrivaled, a new women's basketball league, is making a strong impact and drawing attention. Players such as Alyssa Thomas, the Connecticut Sun star, are praising what Unrivaled has to offer. Even college standout Angel Reese has shown interest.
And it has been so interesting to see what they have been posting and what the players who are playing in Unrivaled have to say about the league.
Let's explore why Unrivaled is making such a strong impact in women's basketball. It's like the dream scenario where everything players need is right at their fingertips, and that's exactly what Unrivaled is delivering. Players are embracing it wholeheartedly. Take Alyssa Thomas from the Connecticut Sun, for example. She's not just intrigued by Unrivaled. She's fully invested. When asked about free agency, she sidestepped the topic and brought the conversation back to Unrivaled, speaking openly and without hesitation. She shared,
She said, "I'm focused on Unrivaled right now. They have everything you possibly need here. They don't really have a lot of those things in Connecticut. I've been trying to absorb as much knowledge as I can."
Get this, she even took a subtle jab at her WNBA team, mentioning that Connecticut doesn't really offer many of those things. Ouch, that's got to be a tough pill to swallow for the Sun.
I don't know if that's shade to her current team or if that's shade to the WNBA as a whole, but like Alyssa Thomas, Angel Reese had something similar to say about Unrivaled.
Got it? Angel Reese, another standout player, is echoing the same sentiment. She's practically ready to settle in for good, saying, "I would stay here forever."
She said, "I would stay here forever. Everything I need is here, from massages to cold tubs to being able to have resources to workouts and everything."
Can you imagine being so impressed by a league that you'd never want to leave? You might be wondering, what makes Unrivaled so special? Well, here's the deal. State-of-the-art facilities. We're talking top-tier equipment, from treadmills to weight machines, all designed to give athletes the best training environment possible. Unrivaled has truly gone all in.
For these players, and if you look at some of the photos and videos that they are posting online, like everything looks like it's state-of-the-art equipment. The courts look great, the weight room looks great. They have a little makeup station for them that's sponsored by Sephora where they can do their hair and makeup and things. They have the cold tub.
Unrivaled is on another level. They have cold tubs for recovery and makeup stations sponsored by Sephora, so players can go from intense workouts to glam mode all in one place.
I honestly thought that this was so interesting because we heard throughout the WNBA season how players were complaining about different travel situations, or they were complaining about their practice facility. I believe it was the Chicago Sky who was promised a new practice facility and never got it.
For years, players have voiced concerns about poor travel arrangements and inadequate practice facilities. Remember when the Chicago Sky promised a new practice facility? That never happened. But Unrivaled is different. They're not just making promises, they're delivering. Alex Bazil, the league president, has made it clear that Unrivaled is committed to taking care of its players.
He said, "We're going to provide daycare services for mothers on arrival. It's everything that the athletes need under one roof when it comes to anything and everything, on court or off court for them."
And they're really delivering on that promise. Unrivaled isn't just focusing on the basics, they're going above and beyond. They're offering daycare services for mothers, which is a game changer. In a world where female athletes often have to choose between their careers and starting a family, Unrivaled is saying, why not both?
But it seemed to be something, obviously, having the founders of Unrivaled being Breanna Stewart and Afisa Collier, two WNBA players and two, I would say, veterans in the WNBA. They know what they need. They know what would be great for them. They were able to raise enough money to be able to provide those things for these players.
And let's talk money, because we all know it's a big part of the equation. Unrivaled isn't just matching WNBA salaries, they're surpassing them. We're talking six-figure deals for a short season, financial security that can truly change a player's life.
Tubs, and it does seem like a great place to be. Like, they do have it. It's a high-end facility that maybe some of these WNBA teams just don't have.
You might be wondering, can Unrivaled really compete with the WNBA? Based on these player reactions, the WNBA might want to start paying attention. When top players like Alyssa Thomas and Angel Reese are praising Unrivaled and even throwing shade at their WNBA teams, You know something's working. Sue Bird's thoughts on Unrivaled and the WNBA are also turning heads, and you're going to want to hear what she has to say.
Now, just this week on her podcast, Sue Bird talked about how the WNBA and Unrivaled can actually benefit from one another.
Sue Bird thinks the two leagues could actually help each other grow. While she acknowledges the WNBA has benefited from Unrivaled's rise, she believes both could use each other's strengths to expand. But there's more to this. Listen to this.
I think there is so many things that Unrivaled is doing right, and one of the top things that I just love that they're doing, their marketing, their design, their social media presence has been outstanding. They are helping us as fans get to know these different players on a more personal level. We are getting behind the scenes. We are seeing them with their kids. It's just A+ across the board on all of those things when it comes to marketing and getting fans involved. On this channel, a lot of that does go to Caitlin Clark, which is why Unrivaled wanted her so bad. And so I agree with Sue on that point. Like, this is the perfect season to do it. You have other superstars who will be in this league that fans will be excited to tune into. Unrivaled, I don't think that there's a world where these two leagues coexist if they are owned, if Unrivaled still stays. If Unrivaled happens to be successful in this first inaugural season, I don't think it will take much time before the WNBA either tries to buy it, meaning the NBA tries to buy it, and make it like WNBA 3v3 and kind of brand it differently, but or WNBA Unrivaled. Because these other leagues that these women go to play in, they haven't been super successful in the United States. Like, obviously, if girls are going overseas to play in EuroLeague or play in China or play wherever, that's just a completely different professional league. This is something that is homegrown, and I disagree with Sue Bird in the sense that I think it could actually compete with the WNBA. If there comes a time where the WNBA in the next 4 to 5 years is still unable to pay these players a good salary, like we know that the players in Unrivaled are getting these crazy numbers, these at least 6-figure deals to play for 10 or 12 weeks, that's really big. And I do think that there's gonna be a point, if Unrivaled is successful this season, if they're successful the next season, there's gonna be a point where a merger happens or a buyout happens or it changes. The one thing that I think is going to be a hurdle for them is simply the product of 3v3. And that's not to knock any players whatsoever. The problem is television viewership of 3v3. 3v3 doesn't translate to television the way it looks in person. 3v3, but we've seen the court in the videos and things that they're posting. It's a very shortened court. I feel like even the half court on the Unrivaled court is where Caitlin Clark shoots 3-pointers. And so I think the risk that you run into just with the 3v3 game is if the casual fan will be like, oh, this is really fun to watch. And I think with full court 3v3, they also have to be careful that it doesn't turn into a situation where someone shoots and 2 players crash the board, 1 player runs down the court, somebody gets the rebound and just chucks it down court, and it turns into a cherry pick situation, or just turns into whichever team is faster and can beat that other team down the court. That's what they're going to do. Because there's less players on the court, it's easier to go one-on-one. If your person is guarding you and you're faster than them, why not just take them to the bucket full court? And so you run into that risk as well if the game just isn't as dynamic as 5v5. So that's what I was talking about. Did you see that right there? They take the ball out of bounds, get it to Breanna Stewart. Angel Reese is guarding her. She takes 2 dribbles and it's a score. That is something that maybe that's exciting for some fans, but if that happens every time down the court, the game is not going to be that exciting.